Diane was 56 when she left her job. Everyone gave her the same advice. The advice you probably heard too. When you leave, roll your 401k into an IRA. It sounds responsible, tidy. It's what most people do without thinking. But Diane needed some of that money to live on for the next few years before her other retirement income kicked in. And if she had followed that tidy advice, it would have quietly cost her around $14,000 in penalties she never had to pay. Because of one rule almost nobody talks about. They call it the rule of 55. Here's the belief that traps people. You've heard it your whole working life. You can't touch your retirement money until you're 59 and a half. Take it out early and you'll pay a 10% penalty on top of the tax. For most accounts, most of the time that's true, but there's an exception written right into the tax code, and it's built for people in exactly Diane's situation. The rule of 55 says this: if you leave your job in or after the year you turn 55, you can take money out of that employer's 401k, the one you just left, with no 10% penalty. None. Not at 59 and a half, at 55. A full 4.5 years earlier. You still owe ordinary income tax on it because it's pre-tax money coming out. The rule of 55 doesn't make it tax-free, it just removes the penalty. And for someone bridging a few years until their pension or Social Security begins, that penalty is exactly the wall standing in their way. But here's the catch, and it's the catch that turns good advice into an expensive mistake. The rule of 55 only works for money left inside the 401k. It does not apply to IRAs. So the moment you take that standard advice, roll your 401k into an IRA, you slam the door shut. Inside an IRA, the penalty comes back, and it runs all the way to 59 and a half. The rollover that everyone recommends is the one move that destroys the exception. This is the whole game. Two paths, and they look almost identical on the day you leave. Path 1, leave the money in the 401k. The rule of 55 is open. You can draw what you need, penalty-free, starting now. Path 2, roll it into an IRA, like everyone said. The door closes. Every dollar you pull before 59 and a half gets hit with the 10% penalty. Same money, same person. The only difference is whether you moved it and whether anyone told you not to. Let's put Diane's numbers on it. She has $400,000 in her 401k, and she needs about $40,000 a year to bridge the gap until her other income starts. Using the rule of 55, she leaves the money in the plan and withdraws her $40,000, owing income tax but no penalty. Had she rolled it to an IRA first, that same $40,000 a year would carry a 10% penalty. $4,000 a year gone for nothing. Over her 3.5 years to 59 and a half, that's roughly $14,000. The price of one piece of well-meaning automatic advice. Now the fine print, because the rule of 55 has edges and you need to know them. First, it only applies to the plan of the employer you just left. An old 401k sitting at a job you left years ago does not qualify. Its penalty still runs to 59 and a half. But there's a move for that. If your current employer's plan allows it, you can roll those old 401ks into your current plan before you leave. Bring them under one roof, and the rule of 55 covers all of it. Second, the rule is a tax exception, not a guarantee from your plan. Some 401ks only let you take one big lump sum after you leave, not flexible withdrawals. So before you count on this, check your plan's rules. If it only allows a lump sum, the strategy may not work the way you need. Third, this is for separating at 55 or later. If you're a police officer, firefighter, or other qualified public safety worker, the age is even lower, 50 or 25 years of service. And what if you've already rolled everything into an IRA, or you left before 55? You're not entirely stuck. There's another exception called a 72T, substantially equal periodic payments, that lets you draw from an IRA penalty-free on a fixed schedule. But it's rigid. Once you start, you generally have to keep going for at least 5 years, or until 59 and a half, whichever is longer. Break it, and the penalties come back. The rule of 55 is far simpler when you still qualify for it. So here's the takeaway, and it's a small one that's worth a lot. If you're in your mid to late 50s and thinking about leaving your job, pause before you roll over that 401k. Ask one question: might I need this money before 59 and a half? If the answer is maybe, leaving it in the plan could be worth thousands. The rollover isn't wrong. For most people in most situations, consolidating into an IRA is genuinely good. But timing changes everything. Between 55 and 59 and a half, that 401k has a door that an IRA simply doesn't. And once you roll it over, that door is gone for good. Diane kept her money where it was, drew what she needed, and paid the IRS exactly what she owed, and not a dollar more. This video is for educational purposes only, not financial, tax, or legal advice. The rules described are federal, figures are illustrative, and your plan and situation will differ. Talk to a qualified advisor before making withdrawal or rollover decisions. Sometimes the most expensive mistakes don't feel like mistakes at all. They feel like good advice. If this changed how you think about leaving a job, subscribe. Every week we uncover one financial blind spot that can quietly cost families thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, of dollars. And send this to anyone thinking about retiring early. The most important move might be the one they don't make.